We have to go into this vote eyes wide open. What did the Senate majority fight for? One of the largest corporate bailouts with as few strings as possible in American history.
Corporations have been getting rich off the taxpayer dime for decades, thanks to special tax breaks, subsidies, and regulatory rollbacks secured by their armies of lobbyists. With the coronavirus pandemic wreaking havoc on the global economy, here's how massive corporations are shafting the rest of us in order to secure billions of dollars of taxpayer-funded bailouts.
We will be helping the airline industry. We will be helping the cruise ship industry. We probably will be helping the hotel industry.
The airline industry demanded a massive bailout of nearly $60 billion taxpayer dollars and ended up securing $50 billion, half in loans, half in direct grants that don't need to be paid back. Airlines don't deserve a cent. The 5 biggest U.S. airlines spent 96% of their free cash flow over the last decade buying back shares of their own stock to boost executive bonuses and please wealthy investors. United was so determined to get its windfall of taxpayer money that it threatened to fire workers if it didn't get its way. Before the Senate bill passed, CEO Oscar Muniz wrote that if Congress doesn't act on sufficient government support by the end of March, our company will begin to reduce payroll. Airlines could have renegotiated their debts with their lenders outside court or file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. They've reorganized under bankruptcy many times before. Either way, they'd keep flying. The hotel industry asked for $150 billion. The industry says as many as 4 million workers could lose their jobs in the coming weeks if they don't receive a bailout. Everyone from general managers to housekeepers will be affected. But don't worry, the layoffs won't reach the corporate level. Hotel chains don't need a bailout. For years, they've been making record profits while underpaying their workers. Marriott, the largest hotel chain in the world, repurchased $2.3 billion of its own stock last year, while raking in nearly $4 billion in profits. Thankfully, Trump's hotels and businesses, as well as any of his family members' businesses, are barred from receiving anything from the $500 billion corporate bailout money, but the bill is full of loopholes that Trump can exploit to benefit himself and his hotels. Cruise ships also want to be bailed out, and Trump called them a prime candidate to receive a government handout. But they don't deserve it either. The 3 cruise ship corporations controlling 75% of the entire global market are incorporated outside of the United States to avoid paying taxes. They're floating tax shelters, paying an average U.S. tax rate of just 0.8%. Democrats secured key provisions stipulating that companies are only eligible for bailout money if they're incorporated in the United States and have a majority of U.S. employees. So the cruise ship industry likely won't see a dime of relief funding. However, Trump has made it clear he still wants to help them. The justification I've heard about why all these corporations need to be bailed out is they'll keep workers on their payrolls. But why should we believe big corporations will protect their workers right now? The $500 billion slush fund included in the Senate's emergency relief package doesn't require corporations to keep paying their workers. And it has dismally weak restrictions on stock buybacks and executive pay. Even if the bill did provide worker protections, what's going to happen to these corporations' subcontractors and gig workers? And what about worker benefits, pensions, and health care? How much of this bailout is going to end up in the pockets of executives and big investors? Well, I'll tell you, a lot. The record of big business is not comforting. Walmart, the largest employer in America, doesn't even give its employees paid sick leave, nor do any of the giants of the fast food industry. McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Dunkin' Donuts, Wendy's, Subway, none of them give paid sick leave. Amazon, one of the richest corporations in the world, which paid almost no taxes last year, is offering only unpaid time off for workers who are sick and just 2 weeks paid leave for workers who test positive for the virus. Meanwhile, it demands its employees put in mandatory overtime. Oh, And these corporations made sure they and other companies with more than 500 employees were exempt from the requirement in the first coronavirus bill that employers provide paid sick leave. And now, less than a month into statewide shelter-in-place orders and social distancing restrictions, what you hear is Wall Streeters and corporate America's chief executives calling for supposedly low-risk groups to be sent back to work to restart the economy. They are so concerned about protecting their bottom line that they're willing to let people die to preserve their stock portfolios, all while they continue working from the safety and security of their own homes. It's the most repugnant class warfare you can imagine. Here's the bottom line. No mega corporation deserves a cent of bailout money. For decades, these companies and their billionaire executives have been dodging taxes, getting tax cuts, shafting workers, and bending the rules to enrich themselves. There is no reason to trust them to do the right thing with billions of dollars of taxpayer money. Every penny we have needs to go to average Americans who desperately need income support and health care, and to hospitals that need life-saving equipment. It is outrageous that the Senate bill gave corporations nearly 4 times as much money as hospitals on the front lines. Corporate welfare is bad enough in normal times. Now, in a national emergency, it's morally repugnant. We must stop bailing out corporations. It's time we bail out people.